I've been doing some work on an interface to the Microtan. I've got an Arduino here, it's a Mega, and it's got some wires going off to socket B1 of the Tanex card. And these two signals here are the TTL versions of the cassette interface. So the shield I've got here has got the connections to the Microtan, and it's also got an SD card. So what I can do is I can load and save the TTL cassette data onto the SD card. So I've powered the Microtan up, I'll reset it, and I will drop into basic. There we go. So there's nothing there at the moment, but what I can do is I can load a program that I've previously put onto the SD card, and this works in fast mode, and it's called Cassette test. So if I then go over to the at the moment it's the serial monitor of the Arduino IDE. If I then just send that over, I can send the data there. There you go, the Microtan found it and loaded it. And if we have a look here, we've got the program, which is a very simple program, just a few comments and prints the numbers from 1 to 100. So there's a few downsides to this. One is that you need the data in binary format, a sort of binary version of the WAV files, the WAV files, and there aren't a lot of files like that I've found so far. But it does mean I can save stuff in this format from the machine. It's just getting other stuff in is a little bit tricky. The other problem is that at the moment the Arduino that I'm using hasn't got very much memory. It's a Mega, and it's only got 8K of memory to run with in total, which means you can only run with about a 5K buffer, so you can only save and load up to 5K at a time. The way I've fixed that in the past is to use an Arduino Duo, which has got 96K of memory, I think, something massive. The problem with that is it's a 3.3 volt board, so I'd need to put level shifters, which isn't a problem because there's only 2 wires, so putting a level shifter one way and the other way is just a transistor or something. So I'll probably do that and create a shield PCB for the SD card and all this wiring, and then you'd have quite a large amount of memory. I've not had any success in writing directly to the SD card whilst downloading cassette data. Just doesn't work. I think there's some delays there when you first send data, the buffering and so on causes the data to be lost on the way into the card. So you have to buffer it in memory and then read and write that buffer to SD card, which is fine. I mean, it's a little bit fiddly, but it works. It's not really any different to a cassette player in a way. Yeah, so it does work. So now I've got a way of saving stuff and hopefully getting files in. I'll probably have to create some sort of program to transfer WAV files into the sort of binary WAV file format that's needed. There's a little header at the beginning with the file name and start and end addresses of the memory. So if you're converting a WAV file, that header will be there, but if you're trying to send a binary file, that header needs to be added. So I'll need to do something about that. So hopefully I'll be able to get some information, some programs into this thing. I haven't actually run any real programs yet, I've only had test programs. This only works at the fast speed at the moment. I didn't bother doing the 300 baud speed, mainly because it's just slower. There seems to be no problem running on a Mega or an Uno at 2400, and if I fiddled with the ROM, the monitor ROM, or the cassette routines in ROM, and sped that up, I think that might work. So you could run with a higher cassette speed, which means it would no longer work with a cassette, but you'd probably be able to save and load. I would have thought at least twice as fast, and maybe faster than that, depending on what the 6522 hardware can handle. But it's in there, and the checksums and everything seem fine.